Hey, good evening and welcome to another edition of Belize Watch, and it's a pleasure and a privilege, of course, as we usually say, to be here with you on a lovely Wednesday evening. And this evening, what will we be talking about? Wow, a lot of stuff. And the stuff that I'm looking forward to talking about, right? And I'm looking forward to enjoying the show this evening, relaxing and enjoying two lovely young people that we have here, a husband and a wife, seated here in our studios. Young Belizeans. I'm talking about Mr. and Mrs. Dismas Lizaraga. And tonight we'll be talking about Tata Duende, Xtabai, Sisimito, Sisimita, Xtabai, Llorona, Negro de Agua, Sirena, Cadejo, and La Sucia. All of these people we were talking about, famous legends of Belize, you know, they are folklore legends, right? You know,
Yes.
So we'll be talking about that. And you have a story on each one of these people, you tell me?
Yes,
each one of these
yes.
characters?
Each one of these characters have stories that go with them. And they all inspire the paintings that we do. So we started off as one class project and we ended up blowing it up from one painting into the others. And the more research we do, the more we found interesting. And we just had to capture them to share, you know, because we feel like the kids, number one, a lot of them didn't know these tales. So we started off with them, and then as we started showing them, more people from around the world started being more interested, and they wanted to know how Belize have all these myths. So that's how the series got carried on.
But how did you meet you and Dismas? Because first of all, let's identify you.
Okay, sure.
Right? Yeah, you are Griselda
Ramirez Lizaraga.
Lizaraga.
Yes.
All right. So your parents are
Gush and Amy.
Gush and Emmy,
Yes.
famous Gush and Emmy.
Yes.
So if Gush and Emmy, good evening.
Hi,
I mean,
Ma.
you know,
Hi,
I
Dad.
know Gush and Emmy very well, so I
Yes.
could tell her good evening, Gush and Emmy. And then your husband, you are from Corozal as well, I understand, right?
Yes, that's correct. Dismas Lizaraga, my father passed away, is Dismas, and my mother is known as Lupita Noble. Well, Lizaraga, Rosenda Lizaraga also.
Now, how did you all meet?
Well, we met in the U.S. while taking art class. We were taking an art history class, and I saw this beautiful girl, you know, and I walked her to her car, and that was the first semester, and you know, we were more involved in thinking about school, and so then the next semester we took another class, and because we were basically taking the same art
classes.
Okay, that was how many
both
years
interested
ago?
in art.
How many years ago was that?
1999. That's when you first started.
That's,
yes.
Okay,
yes.
that's about 10, 11 years ago.
Yeah.
1999.
10 years.
Yeah, 10,
yeah, 11 years.
11
yes,
years ago.
Yes.
Continue.
Well, we took another class, and it was learning Photoshop. And in the hallway, I was talking to a friend, and she said she's from El Salvador. I said, well, that's kind of close to my country. I'm from Belize. And his head popped up from across the hallway, and he's like, where? And we're like, Belize. So he said, if you really the Belizean, you know how they say lizard. I said, yeah, tolok, you know. And from then, we just hook on, and we started hanging out in classes. We did courses together, a lot of projects, and that's how we gained more trust in each other and just started doing more and more, you know. We push each other.
And when did this great day take place?
Pardon?
The wedding?
The wedding, May 11, 2004. That's the day, yes.
Well, congratulations.
Thank
and,
you.
and all the best. No. What was it a common interest in the Belizean folklore that pulled you together, or you were on one thing and she was on something? Who started up with the Belizean folklore first?
We started off by doing animations, you know. She
drawings,
had a project,
basically.
yes, like we do a series of drawings. Every movement is a different drawing, so we do like maybe 100 different drawings for like 1 second worth of animation. And GrissyG had the skills to put them together to make them animate. So
I'm the technical side.
Okay.
So
for the animation part, she also is an artist, so she does art too. So then we got closer by doing animation because we'd spend hours and hours together just in the same room and the computer. And then finally we had this art class where we had to do a project about the different myths, and not necessarily from your country, but just myths. a lot of people would pick Greek mythology, people are familiar with, like Medusa and Zeus.
And Irish ones like the leprechaun and so forth.
Yeah.
And then GrissyG had this idea, she mentioned, to do these myths of Belize, you know. And I found it very strange because I didn't live in Belize too long. I mean, I was born here, but I mostly grew up in the U.S. So, but I remember a lot of these stories when you go to school and they would tell us about the Duende, Tata Duende, the Sliman. And then Gris suggested that idea to us, to the teacher too. And it was kind of weird because I don't know how I would interpret this myth, you know, especially to the U.S. Like, only man with backway foot, you know, that.
Yeah.
How do you even come about drawing that, you know?
A little man with his feet in reverse.
Yes, and 4 fingers, you know.
Yeah, but yeah, go ahead.
And then we started discussing the ideas of these different creatures that we remember our granny used to tell us, like when we play marbles at night, they'd say, hey, you know, not to play too late. You know, it could be an excuse for make we go sleep early. But also, you know, we'd be afraid that if you play marbles at night, the liman would play marbles underneath your bed and your hair. What? Right away, we done in a bed. Yeah? So then we just talk about these different myths and do different sketches, and we come along with the Xtabai come up too, and then we start to remember all these different ones. And then we lead into the research them online and then in our books. And
then when we got here, we started doing personal interviews with people. And since we were in Corozal, we started meeting a lot of the local people. And almost everybody we meet has a story. If they haven't seen something, somebody from their family has seen something, or some, you know, cousin or auntie or friend. So it just really got more interesting after that, you know. And like the Xtabai, she was the first painting I did because as a kid, my grandparents would have us all over on the weekends, all the grandkids and so. And they lived on a farm on the cutoff of Louisville, I don't know the other road, to go into Paraiso. So they didn't have electricity at that time, so the kerosene lamp, right? So during, I guess, evenings, so all of we go outside and they light campfire and they would start tell us stories. And my grandpa used to tell us this one about him and his cousins and drink one night. And you know how that goes.
Yeah, tell me how that story goes. We hear that story. We got about 4, you tell me 3 minutes? So
I think so, yes.
All right, 3.
So the story is basically then gan drink, and the main cousin will get take away and say he barely sit down and he take lead drinks, and this pretty girl walk in, and this girl basically tell her, you know, do you want to go dance? But no words, just signal. So my grandpa and everybody like, what? They get lucky, you know, pretty girl. So they need the PR mind, but they say, they kind of they say they take one spin and they gone outside. So they say, what? This one are really lucky. So then forget about it and then they drink, and then in the morning, so then catch up the daylight, they come and the cousin not come back. So in those days, there's only one road to get home. So then start walk down and then they holler for one, you know, Payo day or, you know, cause, whatever. Then they said they hear one he grown. Then all of a sudden like one bawling, you know, like one lee bawling. When they catch up, they see like this big tree and they kind of hear that he. So all of them say, you know what, we're not going in a bush by ourselves, we're going together. So they walking and they say they find out up on the tree, all beat up, like he get lashed up and they ball. So they say had one time, they bring him down, and after that, he no one, then left him for 2 weeks. He afraid this Xtabai won't come for him. And he stopped drinking for that time. So the story was that, no. So we grew up with that story very prominent in our childhood, no.
What amazes me and what I admire is that what school were you at when you met? What school is?
Los Angeles Mission College.
Los Angeles
Mission College.
Mission College. But what I admire is the fact that you took Belizean folklore. You know, you did not go into what would be the norm of going into other, you know, like you rightly said, the Medusas and the Zeus
and so forth,
and the Hercules and and that type of thing. You actually picked Belizean folklore to move on, and then but you painted all these characters, right? All these 10 characters that we spoke about. And we'll be seeing those paintings after the Belfry and Lotto draws. I'm looking forward to seeing those paintings. And I understand you could tell me a story about each one of them paintings, right?
Yes, we got stories.
And each one of the characters there.
Yes.
Who does Sisimito, who does Xtabai, who does Llorona. You know about Llorona, Natalie? You know about Llorona? Okay. Negro de Agua and and all these colorful characters. Cadejo. Cadejo. You know me. Something else.
Yes,
the dog. The one that I don't know if you story quite well, but you want to tell me all of that.
We're telling later, yes.
Right. So La Sucia, well, we know much about Tata Duende. Folklore simply means folk means people, and lore means stories. So stories about the people. So so we're going to have stories about the people, some more Belizean folklore. When we return from the Bell 3 and Lotto draws, those are coming up next, right here on Love TV and Love FM. So we will be back after the Lotto and Bell 3 draws. Stay tuned.
Celebration time. It don't matter what part of the jewel they come from. You and me. But guess what? All are we the one.